Have you ever noticed how the biggest power players in Hollywood always seem to have the wildest rumors swirling around them? And no matter how chaotic or scandalous things get, somehow, they just keep expanding their empires. But right now, Tyler Perry isn't just riding the storm, he's standing dangerously close to the edge. And the noise around him is getting deafening. This time, it's more than just social media chatter. It's lawsuits, evidence, and once loyal allies. Flipping the script. See, Tyler didn't just become a mogul overnight, he crafted his legacy on tales of pain, survival, and redemption. He made the world laugh and cry through Medea the tough-talking, gun-carrying grandmother who turned struggle into comedy gold. But underneath those wigs and one-liners, there may have been a completely different narrative unfolding, one built not on healing, but on control, manipulation, and secrets now beginning to unravel. Jaguar Wright, the fearless soul singer known for calling out the industry, has been ringing this alarm for years. She once said bluntly, "Tyler is not who he pretends to be." She claimed he was regularly seen at Diddy's infamous underground parties, cozying up with much younger men. At the time, people brushed her off as just another bitter voice. The usual story, right? Until now, Derek Dixon, an actor from Tyler's own series, The Oval, has come forward with a $260 million lawsuit, and he's not being vague. He's naming names, providing screenshots, detailing explicit exchanges. He claims Tyler promised him a future in the industry, offering roles like candy, but when he didn't go along with it, the threats came hard and fast. Not subtle threats. Either more like cooperate, or your character dies. It sounds like something out of The Godfather, but instead of guns, it's contracts, casting control, and complete dominance over someone's future. Derek says it started back in 2019. When they met at Tyler Perry Studios, things started off professional, but gradually the energy shifted. Late-night messages, flirty undertones, and eventually unmistakable innuendos. One message quoted in the lawsuit has Tyler allegedly saying something like, "Hit the G-spot on these bottoms and they lose their minds." That's not friendly banter, that's straight-up predatory behavior, and it gets worse. Derek says Tyler once physically cornered him, pushed him against a wall, and made sexually aggressive remarks, right on set. In another situation, he alleges that Tyler entered the guest house uninvited and tried to make a move on him while he was wearing nothing but underwear. According to Derek, he had to defuse the moment like his life depended on it, steering the conversation to safety any way he could. If that already sounds intense, hold on, because this isn't the first time stories like this have popped up. Christian Keys, another actor, once shared a cryptic tale about a major Hollywood figure who tried to trade roles for something more personal. He never said a name, but people connected the dots. The same tactics, empty promises, unwanted advances, psychological games, and now, folks are revisiting those old breadcrumbs. That viral yacht photo of Tyler and Brian, Tanaka, Mariah Carey's ex, was reportedly the last straw for Derek. Some say he thought he was Tyler's main guy, only to realize he was just one of many in a long, secret lineup. This isn't some baseless internet conspiracy anymore. It's looking more and more like a consistent, disturbing pattern. Powerful men shaping careers, silencing victims with opportunities and paychecks. The kind of thing whispered about in dimly lit after-parties. But now those whispers have become shouts. According to Derek, Tyler wasn't mentoring. He was allegedly running a private casting couch operation, cleverly disguised as career guidance. For Derek Dixon, the situation went far beyond a few late-night messages or vague threats. He describes it as full-scale psychological manipulation. According to him, Tyler would swing between acting like a generous mentor and flipping into a cold, calculating predator, a man who could either launch your career or bury it. When Derek didn't comply, Tyler didn't retreat. He tightened the grip. The lawsuit outlines that as soon as Derek started pushing back, the repercussions came swiftly. Tyler allegedly warned him outright that if he didn't fall in line, his character on the Oval would be eliminated. And sure enough, the changes started. Lines were cut, scenes reduced, and his on-screen presence began to disappear. All while Tyler kept a smile on, acting like nothing had changed. That's not just petty revenge, it's a calculated use of power, twisted into a tool of silence. And the manipulation didn't stop with acting roles. Derek claims that after the physical advances failed, Tyler tried offering him a writing position on the show, like another opportunity might erase the trauma. Derek turned it down. By that point, he wasn't just rejecting an offer, he was trying to escape. But even with distance, the communication didn't stop. The leaked messages are unsettling. In one, Tyler allegedly wrote, "No straight man would be cooking for you unless he wanted to F*** you." It wasn't just unprofessional, it came across as obsessive, controlling, and aggressive. Less like someone interested in romance, more like someone who simply wouldn't take no for an answer. Then there's Christian Keys, whose story sounds eerily similar. Long before Derek's lawsuit, Christian shared a cryptic story of being propositioned by a major Hollywood figure, someone who hinted at trade-offs between sex and screen time. He didn't say names, but it wasn't hard for the internet to fill in the blanks. In a raw video, Christian talked about being drunk on Hennessy at a party, crashing at a guest house he was told was safe. But during the night, the host entered the room and climbed into bed with him while he was half asleep. Christian pushed him off, only for the man to come back again later, even trying to grab his privates during a handshake the next morning. Here's the shocking part. Christian says he recorded their conversations, audio of this man allegedly offering him cash to take his clothes off, and openly bragging about having young black men on call, almost like a subscription service of silence and obedience. Christian says he walked away because he refused to be defined by that. But releasing those tapes, his brother warned him, once it's out, you can't ever take it back. That'll be all they see you as. So Christian stayed quiet, not because he was lying, but because he understood the cost of truth in a system built to punish it. And Jaguar Wright, she wasn't surprised. She's been sounding the alarm for years, warning that Tyler's church-going clean-cut public image was just a mask. According to her, she personally saw him at Diddy's notorious freak-off parties, getting inappropriate with boys who looked barely legal. When she spoke out, she claims Tyler didn't just ignore her, he blacklisted her, allegedly telling actors on his shows they'd be fired if they were ever seen associating with her. That's not paranoia, that's deliberate damage control. Jaguar says she watched Black Hollywood bend around Tyler like he was pulling strings. He built an empire off church audiences, selling out gospel theaters, attaching God's name to his productions. But, according to her, it was all calculated, the money, the morality, just to cover. She points out that Tyler donated money only to pastors like Bishop T.D. Jakes, a figure who himself has had whispers of scandal following him. It wasn't about faith, she claims. It was about buying silence and power. And now, the walls seem to be closing in. The characters are speaking up. The receipts are being posted. But Tyler, he's vanished from the conversation. No statements, no denials, just silence. Christian Keys didn't disappear after his story either. Sure, the internet clowned him, said he was looking for attention, but he never backtracked. He just stopped talking, which in itself said a lot. When someone's holding on to evidence, messages, recordings, the kind of stuff that could detonate careers, and still chooses silence, that's not weakness. That's self-preservation. Christian admitted it himself. His brother told him, if you expose that, it'll follow you forever. Every audition, every interview, they'll only see one thing. So Christian kept the evidence close, knowing if he ever needed to use it, he wouldn't be empty-handed. As for Jaguar, she only got louder. She accused Tyler of weaponizing religion, starting inside black churches, then ditching the community once he no longer needed them. Despite making millions off that audience, she says he barely gave back to real causes, aside from strategic donations, like to Bishop Jakes, who's long been whispered about in the same circles. According to Jaguar, both of them were regulars at those infamous Star Island parties, hosted by the elite, Diddy included. These weren't just parties, these were networking events for the powerful, where influence was traded in shadows. She says Tyler used that system to build a monopoly over Black Hollywood with his own studios, shows, and casting teams. Suddenly, if you were a black actor trying to make it, you had to go through him. No agents, no networks, just Tyler. She even named names, actors like Lamb and Rucker, who, in her words, weren't the same after working with Tyler. She didn't explain what she meant, she just asked Christian to confirm what she couldn't say outright. These are the kinds of stories people whispered behind closed doors, but never dared to say publicly. And now, social media has exploded. People are connecting the dots, comparing timelines, and realizing they've all been saying the same thing in different ways for years. That Tyler Perry, the man celebrated for elevating black voices, might have actually been using that platform to suppress, manipulate, and exploit. One commenter summed it up perfectly. Christian Keys could have had $260 million or 0 cents, all depending on whether he stood on business. Another wrote, not surprised. People been dropping hints about Tyler for years. Finally, someone had the courage to bring it to court. And here's the real kicker. Whether Derek wins or loses in court almost doesn't matter anymore. The public has already decided. People are now rewatching old interviews, digging through casting changes, reviewing past projects with a new lens. What once sounded like wild gossip now feels like confessions hiding in plain sight. And Tyler, still silent, no public statement, no denial, just ... gone. Jaguar Wright saw it coming. Her prediction was simple: give it a few days. He won't be able to hide forever. And no matter how this unfolds in the courts, online, or behind the scenes, one thing's crystal clear. This story isn't ending. It's just starting. Because when the lights finally turn on, and the curtain lifts on Hollywood's so-called royalty, what we find behind the scenes is never the version we were sold in the script.